So welcome back to the channel, and today has been a flop. Unbelievable flop. So I've been in my used parts hunt, trying to pick up used PC parts and PCs. I had 3 deals lined up, and they flaked on me. One of them was for RTX 3070 for like 150 bucks, which was not a bad deal. The guy flaked on me, no response. Another one was for a PC, I think it was like an i9 or i7, yeah, i7 8th gen or whatever. That was supposed to be a complete PC with a 2060. The guy wanted 200 bucks because it had no storage on it, and he flipped on me on that one. And I think the third one was supposed to be some motherboard and CPU parts I was supposed to pick up. Bunch of i5 7th 8th gens with motherboards and all that type stuff. And yeah, they just flaked on me. And unfortunately, it does happen. Usually people get better deals, or they just forget that they're supposed to meet up with you. It is what it is on that, and that's the gamble when you do the used parts hunt. But anyways, so just as I was getting ready to head back to the house, I get a message from somebody interested in buying a laptop that I had for sale, and that is this one right over here. It's the HP Envy X360. I've picked up a couple of those lately for like dirt cheap. I picked that one up for like $40. And the guy's issue with it was that the screen didn't work for whatever reason. I'm not sure. I fired it up and it works perfectly fine. I actually sold 2 of them last week. Also picked them up for like $40. One of them I did have to do a screen replacement, but it was cheap enough where I was able to make decent money. But that one works perfect. I had it listed for $200. Seller agreed, so we're headed to sell that one. But while I'm there, I found a listing for something that I just think is really cool. Now, I love old laptops. I found this ThinkPad, I think it was the R60 with Centrino Celeron. I don't remember. It's just really cool. It comes with the appropriate bag for it, which makes it more awesome. You'll see when I get it. So I figured kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We're gonna sell that laptop, and then that seller, he agreed to meet with me at the same location, so I'll make $200. I'm gonna pick up that other laptop for $20. The guy wanted $60 for it. I offered him $20, and he said, yeah, he's had it up for like a month and nobody wants it. Well, you either have to be a junk collector like me to want it, or just be into that type of stuff. I don't know, but for $20, I think it's pretty cool, and I can't wait to tinker with it. Windows XP, folks, the greatest. So the buyer of the laptop wanted to meet at Happy Cup. I've never eaten here or had anything from here. We got coffee, milk tea. Have no idea what milk tea is. Ice cream, that's good. And the seller of that other old laptop just messaged me, and they said, yeah, they're on the way. So 2 confirmations of a meetup. Hopefully this doesn't end up like the rest of my day has been, or better yet, like in high school when I used to get stood up all the time. That was great. Folks, that was pretty easy. $40 laptop, just needed a little cleaning, refurbishing, stress testing, fresh thermal paste, which maybe that was the issue with that laptop. But in a nutshell, she's gone. I made $200, so $160 profit. Not too bad. This is why I do the used parts hustle. It can be lucrative. Or you can have days like today where you get stood up and, well, and I don't end up with new stuff to bring into the garage to refurbish and flip. So it's all good though. On the plus side, this Happy Cup, folks, I got the strawberry pineapple. This thing is amazing. Can't recommend this enough. And because my little human loves this dumpling stuff, she's big into the whole Nido dumpling and everything and all that type of stuff. You know, I picked her up one. Why not? I kind of like her a little bit, you know. She definitely helps with the taxes. But what's real exciting is this. The guy came, I gave him the $20, and I purchased this, folks. Look at this case. This laptop is in awesome condition. Now, he did tell me, and I didn't really test it, but he says it does work. And typically, I do recommend testing these things. But I can't wait to get into the garage and dive into this. I love, love, love these old laptops. Play some of the older classic games, and, well, I don't know. It's just convenient. Sometimes I'm able to flip them. Some of them I add to my collection. But either way, let's head back to the house. I probably won't get to tinkering with this today because it is like 100 degrees out, which means it's probably like 1,000 degrees in the garage. But maybe the next few days I could catch an early morning and get started this early and not sweat too bad in the garage. So we'll be back. Folks, I'm excited about this one. So it's actually a couple of days later. It's early. We're trying to beat the heat. It's supposed to be a toasty one today, but I gotta dive into this one. So now it's a Lenovo R60. And I think these things were released back in 2006, which makes this thing 20 years old. It's crazy how old computers are getting and how old I'm getting. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the prices of these range from about $800 to $2,100. I'll post the price of inflation on screen, but I mean, these things were not cheap, but back then laptops were built so well. More room, things not as tight or sandwiched as bad on top of each other. I like working on older laptops compared to the ones now. And the coolest thing about laptops back then is that you can upgrade the CPU. Upgrade the CPU, folks. That's phenomenal. But unfortunately, they don't make stuff like that anymore, and everything is soldered in. Now memory is soldered in, storage drives are soldered in. So, I mean, yes, technology is cool, and you got these super laptops that are just, you know, performing as well as desktops. But then again, they sound like rocket engines and they only last like 20 minutes, but I mean, it's still cool technology. Either way, I love this old stuff, so let's take a look at it. Let's dive in. So this is what I thought was the coolest part about the deal. Like I said, I found this on the marketplace. I think the guy wanted 40 or 60, probably 40, maybe 60. I offered him 20 and he agreed on it. Why? Because he can't seem to get it sold. And realistically, who's buying this older type stuff? Not many people, because they don't know what to do with it. It's not like you can go to Walmart anymore or any computer store and buy a disc copy of Windows XP and all that type of games. Everything is online based, and these old laptops, you know, you can't turn them online. They can't handle things too good. So it's more of for the enthusiast, collector, and all that type of stuff. I'm not a collector per se, even though I have a couple of old vintage stuff, but I do like this stuff in the sense that it's fun to tinker around with, play games on it. I enjoy playing older games on the original hardware from back in the day than doing the emulation stuff. That's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But anyways, this carrying case is fantastic. This is how it was back then. Well built, probably cost more than the laptop itself, but it's still pretty nice. So I haven't really gone through this. I asked the guy, has he gone through or anything like that? He did say it fires up. He says he really hasn't gone through anything or all this type of stuff. So he got it in one of those clean outs, their abandoned building or business, that type of stuff. And yeah, he just took a couple of these. He did have a couple more, but realistically, one is enough. Who knows, maybe this is worth something and I could have flipped them, but selling laptops on eBay is kind of annoying and not my thing. And then selling laptops on the Facebook Marketplace, especially something like this, a lot harder to sell something to people that don't know what it is. But taking a look at this is a little mouse thing up on the top, those little rubber things that usually go bad, kind of use the mouse like that. That's kind of cool. We got extras and it's still pliable. Typically these things just deteriorate, but I guess 20 years and the fact that it's been sealed in here, pretty cool. Made in Japan. Nice. Anything else in here? Okay. Now this is cool. We got the original manuals. So I'm assuming this computer was bought with this bag, all like this. Adobe Photoshop Elements. What is this? Directive 89336 EEC. What in the blue thunder? Oh, for memory. Okay. Yeah, sure. Warranty stuff. Vital Source Library. Recovery disk. Not sure what that is. Factory sealed. Okay. Adobe Premiere Elements. Adobe Resource Center. What is this? Is this the window sticker, like a car? Oh, that is so cool. This is how you take it apart. It's like back then they wanted you to upgrade and fix these things. Shows you how to take that apart, upgrade the memory, take out the battery, which screws needs to come out. That's just so stinking cool. So now we don't have to guess and pry and break things. We could just look at the instructions. Lenovo, don't know what that is, but okay, we'll take it. ThinkPad R60 regulatory notice. More regulatory notice. Safety and warranty. I mean, can I, RMA this thing if it doesn't work? Probably not. Service and troubleshooting guide. And this, ooh, fancy colors. Oh, this is cool. So everything that's supposed to come with: ThinkPad, computer, battery pack, power cord, AC adapter, manuals, 2 track point caps. Okay, so that's what that's called, track point caps. How to plug it in, our guide for our buttons. I mean, this is pretty sweet. This is probably going to be a computer that I hold on to for a while. I have the manuals. I have the trackpad buttons. I mean, this is stuff that you don't see anymore. In fact, I'm actually going to put these in here, keep all this together. I'm going to slide that back in there. Now let's see, anything back here? Nope. This was kind of cool about it. Folks, computer on wheels. You can roll your computer like you roll your luggage. I don't know how practical that was in a sense. Like, I have a Lenovo, I forget which version it is, but it has like an i9 10th gen and a RTX 2070. It's a Chongus girl, and she's heavy. But I put her in my book bag, and that just seems to work well and get me around. Maybe this would work better. Actually, I don't think it would fit in here. Now, let's open this thing up and check out this laptop. So first things first, got a few things in here that actually was given to me by my brother for this little project. Folks, Dr. Brain, the lost mind of Dr. Brain, the time warp of Dr. Brain, physical media, which now the world wants to get rid of, and that's kind of depressing in itself. Thank you to my brother for providing me copies of those games. Yes, you could go to archive.org and, do things there, but a physical copy makes it more special. But anywho's, let's take her out. Yes. We do have the power cord, which I did double check before he gave it to me. Original OG. Anything else in here? Inspected by New Asia. So New Asia, whoever you are, thank you for inspecting this. Folks, 2006. 20 years. 20 years. But anyways, let's take this. Let's move this back. Now this is so nice. Now, I think you have to slide this. Yeah, that's cool. Intel Centrino Duo, designed for Windows XP. I mean, this thing is in like pretty good condition. She's a little dusty, but that's okay. We'll wipe her down. It is the Lenovo ThinkPad R60. I mean, all the buttons over here are power button, little mouse cap. Look how small that trackpad is. I mean, let's take a look, see what kind of I/O we got. We have CD, DVD, CD-RW, 2 USBs. I think this is where the hard drive goes. Windows XP Professional Lenovo single core. This is for those docks that I always thought was pretty cool. Our battery pack, power in the back, copper heatsink visible, and Ethernet phone. Folks, I bet a lot of you don't remember that. Microphone, headphones, more USB, VGA. I forget what that is. Let me know in the comments. And then for those expansion cards, PCIe expansion cards, if you wanted to add something to it, like external sound, faster Ethernet, or even upgrade the modem, that was one way to do it. These things, and I'll kind of go back to this, I think we're stinking sweet in the sense that it was your way to add more to it. And I remember years ago when I had a laptop, not as good as this one. I always had the cheap laptops that nobody wanted. But I got one of those 56K ones for like $60, $70, popped it into the slot over here, and oh my gosh, it was night and day. AOL, folks, instant messenger, you got mail. You know, read about what's going on, or, you know, download backup copies of stuff you have. But anyways, Napster. Now this has a little stickiness over here. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of give this a fresh cleaning and then fire her up. All right, so we're gonna start with some isopropyl alcohol. Just kind of get her cleaned, you know? Yeah, she's a little dirty. Now the sticky gunk right over here. Just gonna put a little bit of Goo Gone. Way too much. Kind of let that sit in a little bit. Just kind of using my nail just to break that up. Oh yeah, much better. Swipe around the sides, get all this over here. Gotta get this thing show ready. And some might be thinking you're putting the chicken before the egg, or whatever that saying is, or something like that, counting the chickens before they hatch. The guy said it worked. He was fairly confident. And I'm probably cleaning this, doing all this work, and maybe it doesn't work. For the screen, we'll use a microfiber towel, spray with a little cleaner. We're just gonna go nice and easy. Don't want to force anything, because a lot of the times with these older computers, the plastics, just depending on when they were made or how they were stored, they become so brittle. It's a 20-year-old machine, so kind of like when a person gets old, you know, everything is brittle, it breaks, like my knees, like my back. That looks so much better. Now I just want to undo this. This thing is actually not that bad. I wonder, like, how long was this thing used? Probably wasn't used very long at all. I mean, the condition is really good. Unless the person who had it was very clean or really cared for this, this thing probably wasn't really that used. Because typically these things are like missing keys, cracked, damaged, been dropped. I mean, they're really in bad shape, these older laptops, just for, you know, abuse. Folks, this screen is like in perfect condition. No scratches or anything like that. That's pretty sweet. All right, so I think that's pretty good for now. But then again, it really wasn't that dirty. So now the power adapter. Folks, this is where you got to be careful with older hardware. And I've seen this, and it's happened to me. This thing is 20 years old. It's had maybe a lot of use and abuse. And what happens is, after time, these things break. The plastics break, they become brittle. I've seen them where they're exposed. The wires, just from moving back and forth, they chafe, they get exposed. And if the outer cover is exposed and the inner one gets exposed, you can have two wires that touch, and then you have a lovely short. I had this happen to me one time where it was worn really bad, and you could see it if you were looking for it, but I didn't pay attention. And apparently two of the wires had chafed from so many years, and well, it shorted out. And it shorted out the device. So when it comes to these power adapters, my advice, inspect them very well. And if there's any question of the integrity of it, get on Amazon or whatever, get one that is cheap. These things are relatively cheap. You're not OEM original, so you know you're not going to be good for the shows, but play it safe. This one, fortunately, is in great condition. There's no signs of Just excess wear. Dirty, which is to be expected, because this thing is many years old. But yeah, this could bite you in the butt, these connectors. Now this one's gonna go plugged in the back, just like so. This right up here. We'll plug it up here to the power surge. Golden. So we got two lights. This one looks like for the power plug, that's green. Battery is amber and flashing, which he did say that the battery was shot on this one. I mean, thing's 20 years old, folks. This should be our power button. Let's hit it. Things are happening. Nice. I want to hit the... So I hit the Think Vantage button, which I guess takes you into the BIOS. Instead of having the DEL button, F12, F10, you just hit that button. That works pretty good. Now here you can actually see exactly what we got. So like you saw on the previous screen with the beep, it says CMOS battery or whatever. More than likely CMOS battery is bad in this. I'd have to replace it. But BIOS date, October 13, 2006. This thing's never had a BIOS update, which, was that a thing back then? I don't remember. CPU type T2400, Intel Genuine, 1.8 gigahertz. 1 gig of memory installed, which I think this was DDR2. Startup, quick, boot order priority, which I think we should put the drive. Let's see, can we bring this thing up? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that'll work. You know, it also depends if this thing boots into Windows. All right, exit saving changes. Yes. Will she boot? I know, the date and time, I know. Is it gonna really get stuck on that? Let's try this. I think I should have pressed escape. Or maybe have to set in the date and time. We'll find out. I'm gonna hit the escape button next. Hey, that worked. Oh, the greatest. Microsoft Windows XP. So many good memories. The time or date on your computer is invalid. I mean, are you guys really gonna harp on that? I missed that sound. Now this is like really cool. I don't know if this thing was just never used or was it factory set, but Adobe, activate the security, what? Chip now, don't know what that is, semantic client. Is there any software on here? I mean, it has the original ThinkPad center wallpaper there. Did this thing freeze on me already? I think this thing froze. Control Alt Delete. Well, dag nabbit. That's a bummer. All right, let's shut this thing down. Let's do this. Let's take out this battery because I've run into this where leaving these bad batteries cause the computer just to not work good. I know the older Dells have a big issue with that. Let's try that. Or maybe I have to put the date and time on it. I'm hoping I really don't have to do that, but we'll see. All right, we're just gonna pretend we didn't see that. Yep, it's good. I know. See that beautiful sound? Okay, we have mouse response. Gotta remember, it's older, it's a little slower. Okay, we got progress. So this might have been the issue. Disk Keeper, Google Desktop, Microsoft Office. Nice, 2007. Microsoft Center for Think offerings, Net Waiting, PC Doctor 5 for Windows. I remember that. Picasa 2, don't know what that is. Sound Max, sure. Startup, Think Vantage. Trend Micro Office Scan. Anything else? The Learning Company. Critical Path. Well, I guess somebody tried to put some games in here. That's cool. Now let's go to Systems. XP Service Pack 2 registered to owner, whoever the owner is. Automatic updates. Let's turn that off. Not that it matters, but still. Let's go to advanced settings, best performance. Let's turn off all that stuff we don't need. We need all the performance we can get out of this thing. Yes. Hardware, device manager. Everything looks good here. Disk drives. I gotta look and see how big that is. So for our display adapters, Intel Mobile 945 GM. Dual core processor, and for the sound, SoundMax integrated digital HD audio. Okay. All right. Good there, good there. Yeah, this thing is running perfect. Crazy. Battery. But I think I've seen that a lot in older Dells. And what I used to do, it's a little sketchy, but I would actually open this battery up and take out the guts, recycle it, obviously, and put the case in so it didn't look so weird. So we may have to do that with this one. DVD drive. Do we have anything? Oh, bummer. Man. Oh well, sometimes you get lucky. I have actually found cool music CDs and games in there. But moving on, we're going to jump to this one. The Lost Mind of Dr. Brain. Wallpaper. Windows XP Professional. The classic. All right. Oh, good times. Take out the CD, load it in. Nice and easy. Woo. Oh no, it says Dr. Brain 3 requires support for 256 colors. It's been a while since I've messed with this. If I'm not mistaken, I think we go to My Computer, right click this, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe this one, hit the setup, go to properties, do it this way. There we go, compatibility. Run compatibility for Windows 95, run in 256 color mode. I think it's probably Windows 98 if I'm not mistaken. Let's try that. Yay! Look at me figuring things out that's 20 years old. Now we want to install. Would you like to install? Yes. Would you like to register? No. It's been installed. Nice. Okay, so we can exit. Make sure we go to properties, compatibility. Still got to do that. Run in 256, press apply. Okay. This should work. So nice.
I am Dr. Thaddeus P. Brain III. The P stands for puzzles. I am the puzzle master. Nothing can go wrong.
He says that as he's missing his brain. Guess he lost it. The Lost Mind of Dr. Brain.
I am obsessed with the ancient science of puzzleometry. I have discovered that within puzzles lies the secret of human intelligence, that which separates us from the common beast.
We'll pour his intellect back into the brain drain and pressure force the intelligence back into his own head. We should begin the reconstruction immediately.
Yes, immediately.
Now, I love games like this. It really made you think. This is one of my favorite. And what I really enjoyed, because I was a music person growing up, was the music part. So you gotta play what it has. So if I remember,
Oh, that broke my
switch. switch this, and now play everything. Should be right.
I ain't gonna feed you no more sauerkraut. You make box sound like a brick worker.
This section is now 5% complete.
Now let's go ahead and try the time warp of Dr. Brain. Now this one was hard. I never beat this one. The time warp was pretty, yeah. And I think there's the castle of Dr. Brain. That was another one that was pretty good.
In testing his latest invention, Dr. Brain thought he was merely teleporting himself into last week to find his car keys.
Type in your name.
D-L-M. Enter.
You're green, and your job is to take over the soup by destroying all of the yellow cells.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one was kind of lame. Beaver Dam.
Beaver Dam.
Yeah, and you kind of had to maneuver this, like so, and create a dam. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they still need to learn their parts. Click on the bird to hear the song the band is trying to learn. Click on a band member to display.
Let's see. So now I'm going to go ahead and eject this. We're going to shut her down and open her up, but not today because it is now 11 o'clock. We are hitting the high 90s in the garage. So we'll have to start fresh first thing in the morning. Because what's the purpose of playing with old hardware if you can't open it up and see how cool things used to be? So, computer off. We'll be back in the morning. So let's dive into the old girl. But first things first, like I talked about earlier, sometimes the battery can cause these older computers just to not work right. And we saw this with this. When I plug in this battery, it freezes, but when you take it out, it works fine. So what I am gonna do is try to take out the bad stuff in here, the cells, I think is as you call them, so I can have the case. And I already started doing it a little bit, but I figured we turn the camera on for it. My goal is, ooh yeah, look, it's bad. My goal is to kind of get this out the best way I can. Without damaging the cover. And we can glue this back together. There we go. Yep. Definitely not gonna work. But we achieved what we wanted to do, which is, you know, make a mess. Yeah, I'll go something like that. I'm pretty sure I could get this thing tucked in and be good enough, but I'll go ahead and get this thing recycled with 20-year-old battery. All right, let's get some tools, open this joker up, see what we got to work with. So now we have instructions on how to open this up. This is something that you don't really ever see with new laptops, but you know, they do it here. Tells you to take out the battery, which it looks like it tells you which screws to use. So right over here, which I'm gonna follow the one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screws. This is nice. This is how you did it the day before getting on the interweb. things came with instructions. Disassembly. It's like they want you to fix it. They want you to upgrade this. Well, yes, upgrade it because you can put more memory, better storage, all that type of stuff in here. I think this one is for the storage drive. So let's take this one out because I really want to take this thing apart. Whoop. This is our Fujitsu 60 gig. So I guess I was wrong earlier. Little rubber bumpers to absorb vibrations and noise and dampening and all that type of stuff. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I think I missed one. Or I had taken out the wrong one. Let's see. Anybody else? I think I'm just going to take all these screws out. Not sure which ones I need. I just want to get access to the memory, the CPU. Put a little fresh thermal paste on it, you know. Give her a nice service. It's actually, this laptop is actually in really good condition in the sense that it's not dirty, crusty, dusty, low mileage. So I think it just wasn't really used, or whoever owned it just took really good care of it. But then again, I mean, I take good care of my stuff and it gets crusty. We pop this up, and according to our instructions, we should be able to pry this. Okay. And all right, it just pops up like that. Nice. I love this old stuff. I think this comes out. There we go. That's access to our memory. What do we got? 512 gig DDR2. 5300. Now, because I took all those screws out, I should be able to slide this out. Yeah, just like so. And folks, if you're ever working on a laptop or any computer device for any reason, pull gently. It's nice and easy. You don't want to rip these. Especially with this older stuff, it's getting harder to find. Now this is our CMOS battery culprit, which I'll take mental note of that. CR2032, little pin like that. I need to order a new one. I don't have one. Now my question is, can I get to this? How far the rabbit hole do we want to go? All the way, of course. I think I'm going to try to take this out. Then we got 4 screws over here. And I wonder if I'm able to pop this and slide this out, or is it going to bump into this? We're going to find out. Yep, I think we're creating more issues. We're going to have to keep disassembling. It's getting stuck there. So let's flip this thing upside down. Just keep taking off more screws, I guess. I'm pretty sure I don't have to take these off, but still. Haha. Maybe. Bingo. Now, will this thing slide out? Yeah, there we go. Nice. I mean, this thing is clean. No cake dust buildup in the fins. I mean, this thing looks, I mean, the fans, folks. The fans, I don't know how well it comes out on the camera. They don't even have dust built up on it. Maybe they just bought it and just never used it. Our thermal paste, you know. Now we are going to clean this up. and put fresh thermal paste on it, just because. I don't know what the temperatures were before. I should have recorded it, but it's definitely going to be improved compared to this old thermal paste. I mean, yeah, it's dry. These pads, they feel great. I'm just not going to change those, because what I've been doing a lot lately with these laptops, and I have found actually makes a huge difference, and I'll be doing a video about it, is changing out these thermal pads actually for thermal putty. I've done it on 2 devices already. One of them was an ROG Ally, and another one was a customer's laptop. I actually got, I mean, a pretty good improvement on it, and I was impressed. Now, thermal putty, I think it's the Upsiren one, the high-end one, I forget what model it is not cheap, and I like to use it sparingly. I don't think it's worth it for this, but that is always an option, and I have gotten great success so far for it. I probably will be doing it to my Lenovo laptop. I have one with the i9-10900 and a 2070 graphics card, and she's running toasty. And I'm thinking the thermal pads have just given out on them, because I did repaste it, did use the PTM 7950, and it was great for a while, but not anymore. For thermal paste, I ain't going fancy with this. Just some Cooler Master Gel Pro. Just stuff that I had lying around that I just need to get rid of. And pretty much anything is going to be better than what was on there. Give it a nice little spread. And because this thing is so clean, there's no, I don't have to do any cleaning to it, which that is awesome. Just to show, I already put the thermal paste on, but I wanted to show this. Check this out, folks. And there's another laptop, a couple laptops that I've done on the channel. Upgradable CPU for the laptop. So this one is Intel 1.832M667. You know, even though this stuff is older, it is just very inspiring and remindful of what a time to be alive in the technology world. All right, nothing is taut, nothing is squished, everything looks good. Squeeze her down. We have numbers. Yeah, okay, now I can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I do this, I don't tighten them all the way down right away. I get them started, and then once they're started, I go back and I tighten them. All right, we got all that in. That looks good. Let's go ahead and take this part right in just like so. And on these older laptops, the snap noise is more intense because these plastics tend to get a little brittle. This one is not bad at all. And as far as the CMOS battery, I'm going to put it back in for now. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to get to it. Some laptops you can leave it out, some you can't leave it out and they won't boot. It just, you got to know what you're working with, you know what I'm saying? Now double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. So now this screw is probably going to go for the cover for the palm rest. Yeah, so that's why we don't have a screw there. We have the 4 on the bottom, the long one over here, this. Now, these are the fun ones because you kind of got to go in blind. You got this connector right over here that goes into there. They're kind of cool, but they're kind of annoying because you gotta be a little precise. Nice. Got it in the first shot. Pretty cool. Now let's put in our shield for our memory, which if I'm not mistaken, I think goes this way. Same thing with this one. Flip it over. Let's pop in all our screws. Now for this, we should be able just to there we go. Just looks a little bit cleaner. I mean, you won't see this here. We're missing the latch and a little loose, but it's fine. Like I said, maybe we could find one later, but I'm good with it for now. All right, now we're gonna fire her up. Everything looks good. Plastics are in place. Yeah, CMOS checksum, I know. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, homie. I didn't think to buy one. I should have, especially for these older laptops. I do keep CMOS batteries, CR2032s, for regular desktops, but for laptops, it's rare that I get one like this. Or I don't get them often. So to keep one in stock is really not worth it. But I'll definitely pick one up and replace that later on. I know the system is invalid, all that good stuff. I mean, they just really want to remind you. This laptop runs perfect. I'm happy with it. So let's go ahead, wrap up this video, and give you my thoughts. So I don't collect a lot of vintage retro computer hardware. But every now and then, I find something that really strikes my fancy and makes me want to hold on to it. Like this one. Now, do I go out and buy that type of stuff? Yes and no. If I can get it at a cheap enough price where I can flip it, make a couple of dollars, which I've made money doing that. I've never really documented that or recorded that on the channel, just going out buying vintage hardware and flipping it. But that has been lucrative at times. As far as me collecting this type of stuff, number one, I don't have the space for it. This is my office, but I use it for cars, computers, and I don't have a lot of space to store it. I mean, I got some decorative stuff, so I really don't have the space to store it. And then number two, if you go down the rabbit hole, this type of hardware will consume so much space, but I do keep certain stuff. I do have an old Dell laptop, Windows 7, Windows Vista laptop, has a GeForce graphics card. I've done a video on it on the channel. Love that thing. The reason why I keep that thing around is to play the vintage games on that. And as far as desktop stuff, that's where you really gotta be careful. I have a Pentium 2, I have a Pentium 3, a Cooler Master NVIDIA case, and the Lee & case, which was a case of my dreams. There should be videos on all that type of stuff. I might need to make a playlist of some of my vintage nostalgia stuff. So, and that's just about it. That's stuff that, yeah, there is some value. I can flip and make some money, but I'd rather hold on to it because I think it's really cool. I would love to put a cool PC in that NVIDIA case. I don't know what direction I would go with that. Same thing with the Lee one. And as far as the Pentium 2 and Pentium 3, I just think it's cool hardware. And I do take them out and play with them. Not as much as I used to, especially with this laptop stuff. The laptop stuff is more convenient. Yes, I know you can go emulation and all that type of stuff, but there's just something about the experience of actually playing these programs and games on the system that it was intended initially for. So I just enjoy that experience. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. And then the other thing too is the educational games. And that's another reason why I'm keeping this laptop. My little human, which I'm responsible for, she likes to play games, but a lot of the games that are out are not really challenging. The Learning Company, Sierra, a whole bunch of companies like that at that time, they came up with some great games that were fun to play. Treasure Mountain, Treasure Math Storm, Math Blaster, Freddy and the Fish, all those types of games. Those games are fun, hilarious, great to play. They challenge your mind. They're clean. They got a story. They keep you entertained. They keep you thinking. And there's not a lot of kid game like that. I can sit her down in the kitchen, pop this computer in front of her. She can play some games and learn. It has helped her develop her reading skills, her math skills, and all that type of stuff. And that's how it was when I was a kid. But another cool reason to hold on to this old hardware. So this laptop is 20 years old. It held up, well built. And I think it's really cool that I got the case, the manuals, the instruction. Folks, instructions on how to take it apart. They don't even do that anymore. So I think this was a really cool find for 20 bucks. And I definitely will be holding on to it for a while. So with all that being said, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticism. Was $20 worth it for it? Is it still worth finding some of this old vintage hardware? And what vintage hardware do you hold on to and do you still use? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.